this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If
Oh.
you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill no
Wait a
one.
second.
No.
We return to our planet. The High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Yes, indeed. And of course, welcome everybody to another episode of Anime Shun Anticlimax. I'm SeptumSin, and of course, I'm joined with our typical round table as we discuss the various animations out there. So I'm joined, of course, with Brittany / Idono from Danejurous Arts, and
Hey.
my typical co-host, Kodabuki Jake.
Hi.
So today we are actually covering spooky stuff, because it's my birthday month, and so I said, you know what, I'm going to cover something that I've been wanting to revisit for a while, because I didn't remember whether I liked it or not, and I was trying to figure out, is this something I actually enjoyed, or is this something I think I enjoyed because this is something that's on many older Gen Z kids' classic animation lists? And that is the 2015 series Over the Garden Wall by director Rob Getchman. This is a 10-episode miniseries that debuted on Cartoon Network, which is kind of funny that it's not on HBO Max. But then again, Warner has already said that they have disdain for their animation catalog, so I guess that makes sense. This apparently is something that a lot of people really loved from that, and I remember getting into it a little bit later, so I wanted to revisit this. But let me go around and, I guess I should say what it's about real quick. About two kids that are lost in the woods, and they have to go through various trials in order to find their way back, and hopefully not get caught by the beast. So, Brittany, is this your first time watching Over the Garden Wall?
First time watching, not the first time of hearing all about it. So I knew about it, I just have never gotten to it. So it's the first time for me to watch it. As for my opinion, it's beautiful. I mean, I wish there was more of a plot, but sure, it works. Definitely more a fall watch.
Well, maybe we can, be thinking, cooler thoughts this time of year anyway. I think we could all use some cooler thoughts. This is the dang as warm as it is right now. But well, Jake, is this your first time watching? First impression of it?
It is. I had heard of it, but I did not know much at all about it. And honestly, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I did think it was a very interesting. I was just reading on IMDb that apparently they had originally envisioned 18 episodes, and I suppose maybe one or two additional episodes could have helped more fully flesh out the story. and maybe that could have. But personally, I didn't think it was too bad. I thought it was actually I thought it was pretty good. It does feel a little slight. So, like I said, another episode or two probably wouldn't have hurt if they did them well, well structured and whatnot. It does have some interesting people involved, and I didn't even recognize Tim Curry, but that was kind of interesting. There were, and I love the music, and I will agree with Brittany that it is a good looking show. Kind of an interesting sort of blending of. There were times where I got Adventure Time vibes, times that was more Gravity Falls, and times it was more like old school animation from, so there's like a little bit of, but overall, what's that?
I mean, I was calling that out when I was watching. It's like, oh my God, we've gone into 1940s animation.
Yeah. So it was pretty well done from an audio visual perspective. Yeah, the story is maybe a little slight, and there are both of the brothers get frustrating at times, especially Ort gets frustrating. But overall, it was pretty interesting, and I'm rather glad I saw it.
Well, this is not my first time watching it, which is probably a good thing, as I recommended it. I was introduced to it because somebody had been telling me about it over and over again. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Bug. It was over 10 years ago. But somebody was telling me about it because kept saying, you really need to see this. Is really creepy and eerie, and it's really neat. And I like a good vibe series.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw it on DVD originally, and then ended up getting a copy, pretty cheap. I want to say it was at Second and Charles or someplace. I don't know where I got it. And then I decided I'd watch it, and I was surprised at it. I thought that it. I had an impression of. Was a little bit creepy at times, but creepy as in definitely little kids would find it creepy.
Yeah.
There were a couple of story elements that definitely went much darker.
Yeah.
But overall, I kind of liked it. I thought it was interesting, especially for what they used it for, because apparently it was used as little shorts in between episodes. Occasionally they'd show like one or two a day. So, for that, if you look at it from where it was used to really space out stuff in Cartoon Network, it makes more sense as to why they're like little enclosed adventures.
Yeah.
So it makes sense the way that they did it and why they did it.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I did want to revisit it because I didn't remember. I had some people talk about it the other day, probably about a month and a half ago, and I was like, I don't even remember. I mean, I think I remember liking it. A lot of other people really liked it. So why don't I recommend it? Because I want to watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
I also found it really cheap on Blu-ray, so I went ahead and upgraded, and I had even more of a reason to want to watch it again.
Mm-hmm. And you gave me a copy, which gave me all the more reason to want to watch it.
And consequently, I got to just try the old school McDonald's apple pie. It does bring back memories.
Deep fried goodness.
Yep. Probably the only time I will try it, unless they bring it back in the future. But it was good to relive those moments in time. But we'll go ahead and go through. I'm going to cover briefly the pilot. Did any of y'all watch the pilot episode?
No, because it was not available on Hulu.
I don't know if that was a bonus track on this collection. I didn't think to look.
I think
I
it
didn't know
is.
I didn't know that there was a pilot episode, or I would have watched it.
Well, I will just
Yeah,
run over.
it's on here. I guess I need
It's
to watch
called,
it.
Tome of the Unknown, which was the original name of the series, apparently, and they decided to change it. And it just really was about, according to what the background said, it was originally supposed to be just these random adventures of Wirt and Greg as they made their way through various weird fantasy areas. And in this one, they were looking for, and of course, the main goal was to find the Tome of the Unknown, which totally got kicked out of the real series. And the original one is that they find the pilot episode, they find this car made of vegetables, even though the main part of the car is a watermelon, which is not a vegetable.
It's a fruit.
And travel with a vegetable man to a city, which is actually a cornfield, but it's a city for vegetables, and unwittingly unleash an army of crows on them to butcher them. And you can tell that it actually is a very much has the same spirit as the series itself, and you can see where they were going for it. They were definitely working to try and make this a very episodic series, which they did, really. And we'll go ahead and get in. These are very short episodes, but for the length of the episodes, a lot of them do push a lot of story in it. For the little individual stories they do, they encapsulate them very well. So the first one's the Old Grist Mill, which is where we see that they are lost, and Greg is they get introduced to Wirt and Greg, and I think Jacob said it best, is that they are both kind of hard to really get into characters. Both of them annoy me on a level, but they both definitely grew as characters in the series as it goes on.
Right.
And that's
Greg's sort of the embodiment of we joke with a friend of ours where we played a horror game, and she would just go, "Ooh, why don't I go through that door? Ooh, I'll just check this out. This looks creepy. I'll keep doing it." And we made fun of her for that. But Greg is that character.
Yeah, I always thought of Greg as the stand-in for the little kids that this was the target audience for.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
And of course, Wirt being the stand-in for the older kids that would be watching this. So they kind of are your two stand-ins, and they have the same failings. Though Wirt kind of reminds me of what would be a teenage Woody Allen, the way that he runs across, which I'm not exactly sure many teenagers are, but
he is so neurotic. He is unbelievably neurotic, and that's like
when someone thinks of a kids show, they definitely think of Woody Allen.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, Woody Allen does have a reputation with kids, after all.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Yes.
Well,
moving on.
Well, Wirt is Elijah Wood. It's voiced by Elijah Wood.
Yes.
And it's like, if you take the worst tendencies of Frodo and cranked him up a few notches, you're getting close.
Yeah.
He is the more annoying side of Frodo, but without the heroics thrown in. Like, you see
The overly worried side.
The overly worried side, yes. Which, again, very neurotic and very and it's self-defeating. Like, he is very self-defeating.
Yeah, I think the most frustrating thing for me about Wirt is that he shows that he is intelligent and that he does have the ability to get things done, but that his own negative personality traits get in his way.
'Yeah.
Though he does overcome some of them towards the end.
Yeah.
I would actually say that Greg grew a little more as a character than Wirt did towards the end.
Right.
But you actually kind of realize as you get towards the end that maybe Greg didn't necessarily grow as it, because he could act mature even prior to, but he usually chooses not to.
Right.
Very free spirit.
Yes. Very, very much so.
I think Greg and Luffy would get along together.
Eh,
Yeah. Yeah. Greg would probably fall somewhere between Luffy and Chopper. He has
they
that-
definitely
he's-
claim the frog. They would
Was that-
definitely claim the frog.
Oh, yeah, the frog
would
is the
definitely
other
claim the frog.
companion,
Oh yeah.
which the
The
frog,
frog who keeps changing names.
i.e. Kitty, i.e. Wirt Jr.
Yes. Whatever the
George
Jason-
Washington, Abe
George
Lincoln.
Washington, Ben Franklin.
Yeah, whatever at the time.
Yes. Who
But
we
we're
come to find out is apparently a very gifted singer.
Yes.
Now, we're not only introduced to the main characters, we are introduced to the overall premise. They're lost in the woods, they're trying to find their way back. But they're not alone in the woods. And they realize this because they are told about the beast,
Mhm.
which sings in the woods and has been known to capture kids and turn them into trees. I don't think they say the tree part yet, but other than knowing,
I don't think they talk about the tree part until the last episode.
No,
The
they
wood-
talk about
no,
it
the-
beforehand.
The woodsman tells them about the beast,
Yeah,
but it's when they get to the tavern, and there's that song about the beast. where
okay. It was the tavern where they revealed the tree thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was when it was. And they also introduced my favorite character, Beatrice.
Mhm.
They don't free her yet, but Beatrice starts off saying, "I'll help you out," and then the woodsman finds them.
Mhm.
And we'll get back to Beatrice in the next episode because we don't really, get much to her until after that. But Beatrice being the bluebird of happiness, I say that
They
facetiously.
just see her and say, "Hey, that bird can talk."
Yeah.
Nope, let's ignore that.
She's like, "I'll show you home," and then the old man comes in there and is like, "Oh, by the way, played by Christopher Lloyd."
Yeah, I was going to say, notably, we have two very interesting cast members. Christopher Lloyd as the woodsman and Melanie Linsky as Beatrice. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, they end up fighting a giant dog monster, which they think is the beast. But they
Mhm.
find out after the dog coughs up a turtle, which does come back later on, by the way, these
Mhm.
turtles.
Mhm.
And just as a regular dog that apparently was cursed somehow. But they find out, like, no, that's not the beast.
Mhm.
The old man had actually offered to show them home, but they kind of wrecked his mill. So,
Yeah.
he pointed them in the right direction. So they went on their way.
Mhm.
But what did y'all think of that episode? Because there was despite it being so short, they did do a lot of exposition on that episode.
They did a lot of expedition, but they didn't do much character development. And I think that's kind of what hurts this series a little bit. Is none of the characters are quite likable.
Yeah. I mean, there's three main characters, and they do show growth overall. I do think, another season of them wandering around doing adventures like that probably would have helped build it. Maybe move the story a little bit more forward a bit at a time. Maybe like 20 episodes instead of the 10. I think Jake said they originally hoped to.
They were planning on 18, I think.
That probably would have done it.
I wouldn't necessarily say none of them are likable, but I do agree that they all come across as less fully developed than they could have. I think within the confines of time, the first episode does do a pretty good job of introducing those characters. It does a pretty good job of laying the groundwork of roughly who they're going to be. And it does a good job of laying a lot of exposition and world building without feeling like an exposition dump, which, is pretty good. But yeah, it was.
I like it was Greg that ended up luring the giant wolf beast there by laying the candy trail.
Yes.
Which you do find out how he got all the candy, but you don't find that out until close to the end.
Right.
You just think this is a kid that carries a lot of candy in his pants.
Which seems in keeping with his character.
I mean, we also get set up, and it kind of blindsides you later. But if you pay attention, the timeline's all weird. Where the characters act. Most of the characters in the woods will be Victorian or pilgrimic.
It makes more sense when at the end of it, but I agree it could have been. I think that more episodes would have helped it out more, but it does make sense when they hit you with that at the end. But yeah, you really don't know what time period they're at least not until the end. Because their dress doesn't, Wirt and Greg's dress doesn't exactly tell you what time period they're from.
No, because Wirt is dressed like a gnome or wizard.
Yeah, like a garden gnome, basically.
And then Greg, I didn't even know what Greg was supposed to be until
he says it.
He says it.
Yeah.
Wearing a teapot as a hat.
Yeah. You just think he's weird. Yeah. It's not really until the end that you realize, why they're dressed the way they are. But
which sadly would go with the thing. But the one thing that I really think that they missed the opportunity of, they should have had the frog riding in the teapot under his head.
Yeah.
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 Oh, well. Episode 2 is Hard Times at the Huskin Bee, which to me is one of the creepier episodes. They rescue Beatrice, or Bee, who is a bluebird who has said that she will help guide them. She owes Greg a favor for rescuing her, and she will take them to the good woman of the woods who will show them home. Meanwhile, Wirt's like, nah, there's a sign saying in town here, Pottersfield. I think we're going there. And Greg's like, yeah, I think so. And she's like, wait.
Yeah.
What do y'all think of Beatrice? I don't know. She is my favorite character in this. She's snarky, and though there are some complications at the end, I think that she does make up for those. I actually think that she had more character development than the other two.
I do feel she is the most developed character. But at the same time, I do kind of get her as the nagging older sister role.
A little bit. Like, it's pretty clear that these two probably could benefit from one of those.
True.
And also, when you see at the end, when you see her family, I think that is what she is, because she had how many siblings? Well, it did look like
she had several siblings, and she's definitely the oldest.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. She's probably used to that role, and it kind of makes sense.
One of the lines there, and I was like, boy, this is very apt. And where she's telling Greg, I think in the next episode, is like, the world is a miserable place, Greg. Life isn't fun. And I'm like, man, truer words, in my opinion.
Right.
But they come upon Pottersfield, which I think is deserted at first. And I'll admit, Pottersfield's already thrown up red flags on entry.
Yeah.
And then they find the singing from the barn I think Beatrice is the one right on the line. There, I was like, I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
As all these people dressed in like, with pumpkins on their heads, looking like scarecrows, essentially, doing what they call a harvest dance.
Mm-hmm.
And they're friendly enough until they realize that looks like one of their own was killed by one of them, because Greg's walking with a pumpkin on his foot.
Yeah.
Well, Wirt also got a pumpkin.
Yeah.
So
He tossed his before he came in there.
true.
Right.
He hit the body.
But Greg just straight up says, we accidentally stepped on. Yeah.
But and a lot of them even say this like, are you sure that you're ready to join us? It's a little bit early. And it's interesting phrasing there too.
Yeah.
So they're put to work in order to dig up what they think may be digging their own graves, because they see some skeletons there.
Well, first we get kind of amusing. I thought it was kind of an amusing little kind of setup thing where the main big pumpkin creature that we see there in the image, it seems pretty imposing and kind of like obviously speaking for the town, and basically says, you will be punished by several hours of hard labor.
Yeah.
And it's like, they make it sound like there's something terrible is going to happen. And then it's like, no, you're going to be working for a few hours. And then, so they do, they put them to work and ultimately digging the holes. But I think they had like to do some other basic chores before that. Something.
Yeah. You get to find out the origins of these people and why they said you might be there a little bit too soon.
Yeah.
And where the skeletons come back to life, and then they don the pumpkin and the red scarecrow garb.
Yeah.
And this actually, first off, is a callback to the pilot episode, by the way, the vegetable people.
Okay.
One of the things that they actually kind of transformed over to this. They had a couple. Matter of fact, one of the main characters they meet in the pilot actually is a pumpkin-headed guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's kind of creepy when they leave. They say they always come back eventually. I was just like, oh my gosh, that is creepy. But what did y'all think of this episode?
I mean, it was interesting. It definitely had the creepy factor.
Yeah.
I kind of was thinking when they were digging the hole, it's like, oh, well, this is where you're going to be planted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they are.
We got the heel turn.
They are offered the opportunity to stay.
Yeah.
Are you sure
Yeah.
you don't want?
I'll stay eventually.
But yeah, it was. I thought it was a very interesting and odd episode. That kind of balanced. I thought it did a good job of balancing sort of the creepy factor with almost a little bit of gallows humor, And
I mean, this is a series that I think that has enough in it that is creepy for a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some episodes that almost remind me of some of the stuff I watched as a kid that was definitely creepier than what you usually see as a kid these days.
Well, I mean, all of us are old enough to be in the range of the damage your childhood 80s and 90s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you even had Disney stuff like Watcher in the Woods and gosh, what was the
Secret of Nim?
Secret of Nim
Was a good one.
Any of those. I mean, Bakshi himself had a lot of his style.
Well, as far as Disney stuff goes, this is definitely darker and more adult skewing, but there are some Ichabod, Adventures of Ichabod vibes here.
Like I say, this is stuff that definitely you could see would be creepy enough for a little kid,
Yeah.
about Greg's age to really hit the creep factor. But we go into School Town Follies. We'll just go ahead and where they just basically go to a primary school for animals. Matter of fact, one of my favorite quotes is, "Who would have thought funding a primary school for animals would be a bad idea?" I know.
Gee, I don't know.
Who would have thunk it?
But the idea is that Miss Langtree is supposed to teach these animals how to read and write, and they're going to make money from this. And Wirt was mistaken for a student. I don't know what. I don't really know if that's a compliment to him.
Well, he's the right age.
But they're teaching animals.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, later we learn he's high school age.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little bit beyond primary school, but he's all too eager to just sit down and obey the authority figure.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it was him snapping back against Beatrice, who was like, "Oh, you just follow everybody's orders." It's like, "Oh, I don't think anything. I'm just going to follow orders."
But they do have it is interesting how they do it with this. Of course, Greg being outside with the other animals. Miss Langtree seems to be a slight bit bitter about her breakup with her
You
ex.
think?
Just slight bit.
It's like she's trying to teach them the alphabet with a song where she's with a heartbreak
Teaching the
song.
ABCs about her ex, but
Yeah.
skipping A, B to G.
And of course, the gorilla that seems to regularly terrorize them.
Yeah.
But
The
they-
gorilla reminded me a lot of the Bumble from the old Rankin Bass Rudolph.
and you get one of the more iconic songs from this molasses and mashed potatoes.
As I stated, I don't want to try that combo.
Well,
Nope.
you know, if the potatoes are not seasoned and you're
Yeah.
adding sugar to them, potatoes can make a good dessert. I mean, potato
They
candy,
can.
for instance.
Yeah.
Now, if it was
And
seasoned and
they
salted
did
mashed
say
potatoes,
they did say the potatoes were really bland.
yeah,
So, they probably could have gone either way.
because
I would not be reaching for molasses.
It's
Put on my
not
potatoes.
As weird as, it's not as weird as Buddy the Elf putting syrup on spaghetti.
I mean, shoot, some of my favorite candy in the fall is the potato candy that has the peanut butter. The gosh,
Yeah.
yeah,
What?
it's those little rolls that you see. It's kind of like they're white.
The taffy rolls?
And the spiral is peanut butter. It's actually potato candy. Yeah.
What? I've
more
never
you-
heard of that.
Dun, 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 dun. If I still had the paid version, I would actually play the more you know thing. But it's not. Let's see here. Oh, we do have somebody who is commenting. I do apologize if I have not
Guessy kids.
yeah.
Yes.
If y'all
Hey.
see any need to make sure that you let me know, because I'm looking at the episode guide. Blee.
Lee.
Oh, Blee.
Okay. Lee.
Yes.
But any other they find out that the gorilla is they actually do save the school because they find out that they're strapped for cash because the father invested all of his money into the school.
Right.
Very underpants no mesh right there. Teach animals math and reading.
And then profit.
Question mark. Profit. It turns out the animals are really good at playing instruments, and they were able to use that to make a lot of money.
Actually, I think it was Greg that actually came up with the idea, wasn't it? Am I remembering that right?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
I think it was Greg that came up with the initial idea for the mashed potatoes and the molasses, and it started.
Oh, you did that, yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
Wirt was the one who helped organize the fundraiser with the animals. It shows that both of them have the ability to do well and be competent when they want to be.
Right.
When they want to be.
Right. And yes, and then we do find out that what was his name? The Miss Langtry's betrothed beau or whatever.
Jim.
Yeah, Jim.
He was trapped in that old costume.
I hate when I get trapped in those giant ape costumes.
Well, I mean, he was making money for them to buy a ring to propose, and so he was playing a gorilla in a traveling circus, as you do.
As you do.
Yes, absolutely.
And I do believe, I want to double check this, but I do believe he is voiced by Thomas Lennon, who's been in a few things over the years. Yeah, Jimmy Brown is his name. Yeah, Jimmy Brown.
We get to hear a lot about Jimmy because of this alphabet song.
What's that?
We get to be taught the alphabet while talking bad about Jimmy.
Right.
So, number 4 is one where we actually get a lot of exposition. Songs of the Dark Lantern. We get to learn that the woodsman has to keep the lantern lit. Because he is told by the beast that his daughter, his life there, if that lantern goes out, the daughter is also going to die. Now, all of this stuff, except for that part's at the end. A lot of it's exposition that you learn in the tavern, where you learn about the beast who lures children into the woods and turns them into these edelwood trees that are consequently ground to fire the lantern. And of course, B is kicked out of the tavern because,
she's a bird.
She's a bird.
Yeah.
So it was and they end up stealing a talking horse
named Fred.
Named Fred.
They don't know he talks at first.
No, they don't know that until the end of the episode. But it's interesting there. And you get to see the woodsman, and they think the woodsman must be the beast because the whole of it says whoever bears the lantern is the beast.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is an exposition. That is an exposition dump episode. I didn't think it was.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think it did it badly. I didn't get bored by it. It was fun enough with the weird exploits of the tavern, them mistaking Wirt's reason for being there and all that stuff. But still, it was a lot of story was dropped right there.
Right. And also, I believe this is the episode where we first see the beast, isn't it? Or at least sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. He pretty much.
We don't get to see the beast in full until the last episode.
Yeah.
Right. But we also first hear him. He's talking to the woodsman. We find out that there is that sort of connection, that they're wrong to think that the woodsman is the beast, but he is connected.
You can tell the woodsman wants to help them, but
the tavern people have the connection, right? But are executing the wrong target.
Right.
Yeah, the main issue that they got was the person who bears the lantern is the beast. And it makes sense why that would be the case. But they're missing a piece of the story that's important.
Yeah.
But you get that piece of the story at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
As to why he goes to work grinding down these trees, which also is pretty disturbing. That whole thought is very disturbing when it gets to you, because you can make those connections right there. So the children are changed into these trees, and the woodsman has to kill the trees and grind them down into the sap to use for the lantern. Hence, he's grinding up children and using them to light the lantern. It is a very disturbing concept right there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just watched
Although
another
he-
like children's animation not too long ago called Lollipop Dragon Adventures. Something that I watched when I was really, really young. And the villain there gets changed into a tree in a horrifying way. And I'm like, this is everything else about
I
it
said,
saccharine
they
sweet.
traumatized us in the 80s and 90s.
Everything else about that episode is saccharine sweet. Actually, even Rainbow Bright, if you look at the first episode of that, it's a lot darker than you would think it was.
I mean, the Care Bear movies. I mean,
What's
those were aimed at little kids. And look how dark and evil.
I mean, yeah, I think we talked a little bit about revisiting some old stuff. Maybe last time, maybe it was off camera, because I'd come back and I'd watched the original Care Bears movie, the original G.I. Joe movie, which that was pretty dark. That whole bit was
Transformers, of course.
Yeah.
We have the death of Optimus Prime.
Right.
for consumerism. Consumerism killed Optimus Prime.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
And
that was the first movie I saw in theaters. And then I think
I saw the Chipmunks first.
I'm pretty sure the first 3 movies I saw in theaters were Transformers the movie, The Land Before Time, and All Dogs Go to Heaven.
I mean,
all of those have some pretty dark.
yeah, all of them have some disturbing moments. Everybody forgets with The Land Before Time, all of those like sequels, but the original movie was very well done. It is a solid movie.
I mean, I remember watching the movie, but it wasn't until I was already going to middle school at that point.
Mhm.
And being the oldest here, I mean, I remember seeing a lot of children's movies. I mean, for God's sake, The Never Ending Story is one of the most traumatic movies for a child.
I watch that all the time
Yes,
as a
it
little
never
kid.
ends.
Well, and the animation quality was very good on some of them. I disagree with some on the quality, but I will say, I even said, I think last time, I was surprised at how much the original Chipmunk movie was animated, how good that was.
That was a beautiful film for the 1980s. And to be one of my first films that I can remember, I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful.
And even then, it talks about a plot about smuggling diamonds on the black market and having them do deals for blood diamonds as they're going through, which is like, no, that's a bit of a mature.
I was probably 5 to 4 at the time that movie came out.
Well, one that's not so worrisome as the one episode Mad Love, which they end up talking to this eccentric wealthy man who, of course, Beatrice, the horse, and Wirt are conspiring to steal from him. Shoot, the darned horse is a regular like thief because he's like fantasizing about stealing shit.
He keeps talking about how wealthy he is, and it's not like he's bragging. It's just it comes off like a little.
And of course, this gentleman is played by John Cleese.
Yes.
I like it. Like, no, I never drink the stuff myself, but you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And he sees this ghostly apparition of a woman.
Yeah.
It's in his mansion, and he's all like disturbed about it. So they go to find this person. Meanwhile, Wirt is looking for 2 pennies because you need 2 pennies in order to get to Adelaide, apparently, according to Beatrice. They don't really revisit that.
No, they do.
Well, they do.
They do.
Yeah, because they when in the fairy episode they say.
Oh, was that was the fee for the frog fairy?
Fairy. Yep.
But yeah, it's like when she first talks about it, Wart's like all concerned, like, "Oh man, what do we need?" So it's 2 cents. Really? That's it? It's-
I love they could have just asked him for it, especially after
No.
the end, because they helped them
Yeah.
resolve some issues.
right.
I love that both of them were like rival tea company owners,
Yeah.
and their mansions grew so big they just ended up building into one another. Become
Yes.
one mansion.
They're so stupid rich with such huge mansions that they end up combining. And we should mention that his ain true love, who turns out to be his rival, Marguerite Gray, is voiced by Bibi Newirth. So we got some big star power in this episode. That was kind of fun.
I mean, the whole series.
Yeah, definitely. But
I mean, freaking Frodo Baggins, man.
well, to my mind, Bibi Newirth is the actress of. If I were to make a short list of the best television characters ever, I freaking love Lilith Sternin. So that's so I love seeing her and stuff. But
I know Elijah Wood has talked about this as being one of his favorite roles as far as series he's been in, which is interesting.
He has had a very unusual and interesting career, that's for sure. But yeah, the overall premise of this one was quite interesting. I generally have little sympathy for the stupid rich, but these two were both kind of amusing in their way, and the idea that their mansions were so huge they could fuse with another mansion and they didn't even realize it is pretty fun.
I did find it interesting that it was Wirt that came up with the idea that something was wrong, because it's like, no, I mean, this one here is distinctive style is very, very different from the style of the original.
Yes, he explicitly he like says it's like some sort of Quincy Endicott has a very British style, but was it Tudor, I think was what he said. I don't remember exactly, but then like the other one is a little more kind of French oriented,
French Baroque.
Yeah. So it's like, but yeah, he gives like a mini dissertation, and Beatrice kind of looks at him like, yeah.
Well, so we move into Lullaby and Frogland, which is where they have to sneak on the boat. But I'm sorry, they could have asked him for 2 pennies. I'm pretty sure that he would have given them that.
Well, he did give Gregory 2 cents, or he gave him a penny, and Marguerite gave him a penny, and Gregory immediately threw them in the well.
Oh yeah, okay, I missed that part, but yeah. But that is on par with Greg, which is why he annoys me as a character. But
he's the erratic one, and Wirt's the studious, strict one.
John Cleese plays Adelaide as well.
Plays what?
Adelaide.
Makes sense, actually, if you think about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, actually, I kind of heard it.
So Lullaby and Frogland's interesting because the ferry ends up being a riverboat.
Yeah.
With like antebellum South frogs.
Mm-hmm.
They end up disguising themselves, and you find out that the frog can actually sing.
Mm-hmm.
And you find out that the frogs really love the was it the oboe? What was that one? The
bassoon.
Yeah, the oboe.
Bassoon.
They really love
bassoon,
the bassoon.
Which I always thought was a cool instrument as a kid because it's a very weird looking woodwind. And Beatrice was like, well, you can play that. It's like, I play the clarinet. They're very different instruments.
There are similarities, and the key arrangement is similar, but the way you play them is
Mhm.
pretty different. But
And I'll say this: one of the things that is interesting is you do get to see the her relationship with them, especially the one with Wirt, because it's really hostile with Wirt at first, but they end up becoming pretty close at the end, which is very. I don't think her relationship with Greg changes all that much, but Greg's kind of a one-note character for the most part throughout most of the series.
Well, and also Greg is very friendly and opening and welcoming to almost everyone, and Wart is guarded to a fault, and he was very hostile to her at first, like very hostile.
They were both. They were like
She's-
oil and water from the beginning,
Right.
but they
If
do.
the series went on,
Mhm.
you could almost say it's the oil and water relationship. The
Yeah,
couple that gets together that hates each other.
I thought
but
they
one thing
probably
you did
were
see
gonna
that
end
they,
up together.
and I can't remember when you find out about the because you find out about it before the Adelaide issue, where you find out that she was once a human, but she did something herself that ended up cursing her and her family to become.
I mean, she said it in several episodes.
Yeah,
I think it was. I think it either was this episode or the one before it. It may be.
okay.
Well, this
it
is the
wasn't-
Adelaide
it wasn't
episode.
Okay, Lullaby
This
for
ends
Frog
with
Land is
Adelaide.
the one where she
Adelaide
says that.
He doesn't
Yes.
show up till later, because they do have a little bit of heart to heart on the boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was where she tells where she tells her story, and why she needs to go see Adelaide of the Forest is because she needs the scissors to lift the curse. Okay, and she actually confides that with Wirt apparently, which again that just shows that they, as the characters slowly start to understand each other better, they get to like each other better. And yeah, I do agree that if you had extended this about another 10 episodes, it would have definitely made more sense as they went. But at the same time, it still hit well enough. I mean, that's still a lot of adventures. You could imagine there were several days going by for every adventure
Right.
that they went on.
Yeah.
But Lullaby in Frogland, I thought was entertaining. Other than the exposition, though, I don't know if there was a lot else to the episode.
No, I mean there was the Adelaide situation at the end.
No,
They
okay, yeah, they find Adelaide at the end of that. Okay.
they find out the truth, and they learn. They think they learn that Beatrice was selling them out, but Beatrice
she
was
was.
actually trying to get them away at the last minute.
Well, in all fairness, she was selling them out at first.
At first, yes.
But and you find out that Adelaide is very weak to the night air, apparently.
Very
That is
much
one
so.
hell of a bad weakness for a witch to have.
Fresh air.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Yep.
that's almost as bad.
She tops the Great Witch of the West.
That's what I said. That's almost as bad as water, or actually worse than water.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
at least the Witch of the West could get an umbrella.
And Adelaide is almost comical in a lot of her ways and mannerisms. Her sister, Ani Whispers, though, is very
Which is
she
the
is
next
very
episode.
creepy. Yeah, which
Is
is
that
the
the
next
next
episode.
Yeah,
episode?
she's
Yeah.
very creepy, and she's played by Tim Curry.
Which
Yes.
is part of the reason why she's so creepy.
And they stumble upon this girl called Lorna, who they're hiding in a basket of turtles, and the turtles look familiar because they are the same type of black turtle that Frog had, that a Frog Dog had, that turned into the creature.
Mm-hmm.
And she warns them to hide from Ani Whispers because who says you can't leave here, you've got to remain busy or else she'll become wicked and be devoured. And she has this spell which just controls her.
Mm-hmm.
well, Greg and Wirt decide that they're going to help her escape.
Mhm. And I feel like Ani Whispers was one of the most retro design characters in the whole thing. She reminded me of like that old school animation, like you see in that Cuphead game, you know what I mean? Like the way they did her,
A little bit.
little bit.
A little bit.
But yeah.
I get a lot more of that with episode 8.
Yeah. But it was kind of like I was reminded a little bit of that and a little bit of kind of some of the old hag characters in some of the Ghibli films.
Yeah.
Like the old
Yeah.
hags from Spirited Away. Like she's kind of a little bit of those. And again, I did not realize it was Tim Curry, but I can definitely hear it.
Which it did actually take a turn when you got like when you find out Lorna is actually Annie Whispers was actually trying to protect them from
Yes.
her, and but they used the bell in a way that Greg did something that was actually it wasn't Greg, it was Wirt, because Greg just said turn into a tiger.
Okay, this is also Tim Curry after his stroke. So
he's done a lot of work after his stroke. It's just mostly voice work.
yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Obvious. Yeah.
He's been looking better over the last couple of years, but yeah. But it was Wirt that actually figured out like to have the spirit basically leave her and go away, which you'd think that they would have figured that. I guess it was Annie Whispers didn't want her to leave her alone, but it looks like Lorna decided she would stay with her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and of course, Wirt starts to lose hope, which is what the beast wants. Now, I was wrong. It wasn't. It was the episode about the mansion where Beatrice reveals her secret.
Okay.
Because her and Wirt actually have a bonding moment, and so she tells him the story about her, and then he's like, "Yeah, I had a crush on somebody, and I couldn't tell her." He's like, "That's it? That's your dark secret?"
Yeah.
And I would have left it behind, but then I realized that is actually important for later. So,
Yeah.
True.
But then we go into Babes in the Woods, and this one really does get dark.
It gets dark, but at the same time, it is very 1940s, 1930s.
Yes. I
animation.
love the concept of the fish fishing on the lake.
Yeah. That was an
And-
interesting one.
And Wirt basically just gives up all hope and lays down to sleep. Where Greg decides he's going to seek out hope by going into this land of early animation, where he has to fight the North Wind.
Right.
And he discovers that the beast has claimed Wirt, where you can see the tree growing around him. But Greg instead decides to take Wirt's place, which allows for Wirt to be saved by B later on.
Right. And this episode features Jenna Ortega as, quote, additional voices.
And you get introduced to B's family as well.
Yeah, you do. You do.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
pretty much an early time for Ortega, wouldn't it be?
Oh, yeah. This is probably early in her career. But yeah, there's a few because there are technically a lot of potential characters in that dream sequence. So there are a few people.
Yeah, but a lot of them sound the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got 3
So-
people on IMDb given additional,
You
additional
do get to
voice
see how
actors.
huge B's family is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have some dirt,
At least part of it.
have some dirt, dear.
Yeah.
I do like at the end of it, he just takes the dirt and eats it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I admit 9 is the one that kind of threw me for the loop.
Yeah.
because it actually sets us up as to where we are and gives us a
And what
basic
time it is.
idea of
Yeah.
what's actually happening. Because the flashback goes back to Halloween in the 80s. I remember
Mhm.
Halloween in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I did too.
I was Greg's age in the 80s. Well, yeah, I was at Greg's age in the 80s up to about 10-ish. I wasn't really a teen, and wouldn't have been Wert's age until the 90s.
So I should say just real quick on a comment a moment ago. IMDb doesn't list Beatrice's mother until the 9th episode, so I don't know, but Shirley Jones plays her. She's been in a few things.
Hello, crazy kids.
Yeah.
Well, indeed.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's this is basically like the prequel episode, I guess you could say. Like it's
Yeah. I mean, Greg makes this mixtape with poetry and all this stuff on it.
and clarinet.
He's going to give it to his crush, Sarah,
Right.
and he's of course being Wirt, and you find out that he's making a Halloween costume, which mixes like a hat, which looks like it was like a Christmas elf hat that he took the trim off of, and a Civil War coat. And you find out that Greg's teapot
is an elephant.
Yes.
And that you find out the reason why he has all the candy is that he was helping somebody clean their yard for candy.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's Halloween, Greg. You can get candy for free. But you find out he stole the rock, which he the friend rock, which he talks to throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But works frivolously try to get the tape back because Greg gives the tape to Sarah's friends to give to Sarah, and finds out that Jason Funderburger, which you think is going to be this really cool guy the way they describe him, he ends up basically being Napoleon Dynamite.
Well, much less of a jerk.
And
but he has about the personality of a level of personality of Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sarah, of course, is dressed up in sort of a clown costume, but she's got like a skeleton, like zombie makeup on her face.
Right.
And you can tell she's not really into Funderburger, even though everybody else seems to think she is. And that she does seem to be into Wirt.
Yeah. You get the impression that this is something where Wirt would have absolutely no problem at all whatsoever if it weren't for him.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like feelings are mutual on both ends, but and she wants to go hang out at the graveyard, and they end up following. And
the cops show up.
Yeah, what do y'all think about that cop that keeps going around threatening the kids and then going, "Oh, I'm just kidding."
Yeah, you're under arrest.
He's having fun with the kids and spooking them on Halloween.
Right.
I
thought that was pretty funny though, but it's like I don't know if that would go over well with.
But they end up going over the garden wall. Okay, name card. And dodging a train that was coming at them, falling into this lake unconscious. Okay, now this is where it wakes up and he's with the bluebirds. But you look at this, and of course a lot of this is an analog to this is the mind before death, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's very likely that if either one of them succumbs to the beast, that they will not survive the drowning. At least that's what I took out of it. I don't know about the rest of it. And that's why things are kind of odd fantasy-wise, because this is all happening kind of in this realm within their minds, which they share this weird thing experience. So it's very interesting.
Okay.
But Greg finds out about what's going on with Greg, how the beast wants to transform him into the Edelwood tree. And he ends up actually figuring out that, wait, it's not this guy's it's not the woodsman's daughter in there. It's actually the reason why he wants to keep that thing alive is that the beast's got his own soul in that lantern.
Have we mentioned that? Because I don't remember that.
Yes, at the tavern episode.
Right. We mentioned that. Okay.
He thought we were told
right.
it was the daughter's soul.
The daughter's soul.
That was
Right.
the light of the lantern.
Tavern episode.
Right. Which is why the woodsman is trying so hard to keep it lit.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and the woodsman eventually is like, look, I'm not here to touch more kids for this.
I don't think it was mentioned, and I remember wanting to say it and like didn't have a moment to cut in.
I mentioned it at the beginning of the episode.
That the woodsman didn't actually.
Yeah.
What's that?
When we talked about the episode, I actually mentioned it at the beginning. I had said, yeah,
Right.
this is the stuff that happens at the end before I went over the tavern part, which was
Right.
prior. That's why it probably
Right.
hit because I went over it then.
Well, what I was going to say was I may have missed you saying this then, but I remember at another point wanting to jump in and not really getting a moment to jump in, and then I got distracted and forgot. But it should probably be noted that the woodsman didn't seem to actually know that that the trees were children. At least that was the impression I got. He
You
didn't
get a
seem
good
to
idea.
know that.
I think that he did because the presumption is something similar to the offer that the beast gives Wirt, which is, well, he's done for, but I'll let you keep the soul in the lantern, and so long as the lantern's lit, he'll still be alive. I have a feeling that the woodsman had a similar offer to him.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, he probably did. I don't know. I just got a feeling that like there was a part where he seemed a little surprised. I don't know. Maybe
I don't think the woodsman had a hand in any of the kids falling into despair.
No.
I think that was where the difference came. Is like, no, I'm not taking a direct hand in this.
Right. It was more like what kind of like I won't notice it. Yeah.
And you get to see what the beast is.
Mhm.
Briefly.
Yeah. Very briefly. I had to like stop and try and get it like at the right seconds because I was watching it on Hulu, so you could only go back 10 seconds at a time.
I should say that at the beginning of the episode, Beatrice is given like the scissors by Wirt when she lets them know about Greg, and it's like, oh, so yeah, we took them to free ourselves. It's like, well, yeah, I didn't tell you because we were kind of mad at you at the time.
Yeah.
In all fairness.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But of course, Wirt actually overcomes a lot of his fear to blow out the lantern and risk himself to save his brother. So like I said, both him and Greg do have some development, but yeah, I do agree that it could have used a little bit more gradual development because both of them, like Greg becomes a lot more serious a lot more quickly, and Wirt gains some bravery in the last two episodes.
Yeah.
They do show flickers of that throughout the series, which I do think that if they went at the pace they were going, 20 episodes would have been more than enough to do the job, I think.
True. I mean,
Because they
we'd
were
see
headed that direction.
more. We'd have more time to develop the characters, definitely. So,
Because they did show development as they went by. It's just that they had to move much more quickly, I think, than they planned to. But
Probably.
of course, Wirt and Greg are saved and brought to the hospital. And he invites Sarah over to his house to listen to the tapes together. But maybe we could start with some other tapes first.
Right.
You notice that the bell is still inside the frog's stomach. And that the woodsman finds his daughter is alive, and that Beatrice and her family have been restored. And of course, they're sort of like almost Regency era as far as their dress. But
Yeah, I mean, the timeline's just weird with the people in the forest.
But you look at the forest as sort of this weird area between life and death. And
Yeah.
it has that kind of weird world itself. I guess it would make some sense that it would be trapped at different times.
It would make sense. I mean, like this spring, there was that Mamoru Hosoda film Scarlet that was. It also took place in like or more explicitly.
Really.
Like this is you're saying stuff that I don't think was as explicit in the show. Scarlet was pretty explicitly took place in sort of like the in between life and death.
Yeah.
And it was people from different eras colliding together in this one space. And so it does make perfect sense if that's what it is, that you would have people from. Yeah.
It's strongly hinted by the people who made it. There's a 10th anniversary short as well, but I did not see it. It's done in stop motion, which might be interesting to watch in the future as well. It came out in a little bit less than 10 years prior, because it was no, that actually works because it was 2014, not 2015 when this came out. So 2024 was when the 10th anniversary went.
Okay.
So it was an interesting, and that was really the total of the Over the Garden Wall. I think that I know they hinted at it being the area between life and death, which is why they all remembered it at the same time. But still, a lot of it's still left for the viewer to connect the dots.
Well, I mean, reading off the Wikipedia, I mean, Patrick Mahale said it was originally planned to be sort of a Faustian bargain deal with them going through the land of the in-between.
I mean, you can see the beast himself being a Faustian character.
Yeah.
Devil stand-in, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts about the plot? I know a lot of it was that it could have taken a little bit more time getting to where it got to.
The plot, no. I do want to acknowledge this is an Emmy winner.
Right.
So.
Best animated short film, which was the pilot.
Outstanding animated program.
Yeah, sorry. The animated short film was the pilot. It won for that.
Okay. And I saw that it had a pretty solid rating on IMDb.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a pretty high rating.
Well, it's very well liked.
Yeah.
And it's very nostalgic for a lot of Gen Zers who are young adults right now.
Right.
A lot of them are looking back at this much like we would look back at, I don't know, like the Garfield Halloween special or something.
Maybe. I mean, I remember I mentioned it to a coworker, and he was like, "Oh, it's a good movie." It's like it's a good one. But IMDb has it listed as number 90 on their television list, so that's not a bad rating. I mean,
when we get to the production, production value was really high on this.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, the animation changed about, but I think it was fitting because it was pretty much going about in different timelines. with the environment a lot. And you kind of mentioned one of my favorite Halloween specials there, Brandon, that is equally creepy, which oddly enough is the Garfield one.
Right.
Well, they used a different animation style there actually for the ghosts.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, for a 30-minute short, I mean, that would scare your pants off.
That scared me as a kid.
Yeah.
I was a little kid when I saw it, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's nice. It's a little bit creepy, but I mean, that's something as someone who grew up with this kind of stuff in the 80s, I'm used to. I'm kind of surprised it got away with them having it this creepy.
Mm-hmm.
These days, because it would have been very sheltered audiences for younger children.
I'd actually think this one respected the intelligence of the audience a lot better than some of the cartoons of the time.
Right.
I mean, there are cartoons around that time that did do that. I mean, I think that ones like Gravity Falls or Steven Universe or Adventure Time, as we're going through, do
but
respect
I mean,
the audience's intelligence.
Right.
But they have.
I mean, with Gravity Falls, I don't think I've ever been creeped out by Gravity Falls.
Right, but it's not what he's saying. It respects your intelligence. It's a very intelligently written show,
and that's what kids shows should be.
Yeah, yeah. And again, this is Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network has done a lot of stuff that skews a little older or a little more mature.
Like Teen Titans.
Not these days. Not these
They
days.
have done.
No.
They have done. And
they used to experiment a lot more than they do now.
They did. They experimented. Yeah. So there's that. They probably had a little more freedom to play around than, say, a network production would have.
But I like to think that a lot of that had to do with a lot of the other stuff going on, like Frederator going on around the time. Cartoon,
which Mikhail was part of.
Yeah, I mean, these really did try to get a lot of new talent in there, both stylish wise and story wise, to come in, and that did drive some amazing series out there. Rebecca Sugar being one, the other that you mentioned there. A lot of these people, they started because of this stuff, really. I mean, they didn't start because of it, but they gained a lot of their reputation.
They gained their fame.
Yeah.
At that time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I mean, it gave opportunity to people who would normally never get it, which was kind of a cool thing. And sadly, because of a lot of the stuff going on with those platforms, I don't know if that could happen again.
It's not going to happen anymore with Comedy or Cartoon Network. It's not going to happen with Cartoon Network again.
I'm surprised there's even a Cartoon Network left. But then again, who knows? Paramount.
And what's left now is mostly shows for toddlers, and then Adult Swim at the end.
I mean,
of the night. So
I don't know if Paramount takeover is going to be good or bad for that, because Nickelodeon hasn't been all that cerebral lately either.
No, I mean it's gotten to the point where it's indie animation at this point. It's the newer stuff. It's like Digital Circus just ended.
Digital Circus, Has Been Hotel. It took a long time to get recognized. Yeah. That one took a long time to get recognized, and Hell of a Boss was pretty much required to get Has Been Hotel recognized.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know them very well, but I do know from the last two Galaxy Cons, they are very popular.
Oh, they are now, yeah. That's just it has been.
Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss
but
are
the
on the
sheer-
decline.
With the sheer number of cosplayers from playing characters from those shows, they are
Oh,
popular.
yeah.
But I'm not saying
Oh, yeah.
there's cosplayers out there, Jacob. But the audience is on a decline
Well,
on those
yeah.
two shows.
The other one, there was another.
And so-
Like I said,
there was
I'm not
another
familiar
indie on
with what-
YouTube. You might know it, Brittany. It was kind of like this 1920s, 1930s style that had a bunch of people who were like cat people.
Daisy Cad, I know of it because I follow them,
Yeah.
but I at the don't
That's
remember
another
the
one
moment.
that-
But it's Daisy something.
I mean, but of course, it took Has-Been Hotel like a long time to go from that pilot that they did to the show they had. And
Almost a decade.
yeah, so it wouldn't be surprising if something like the other one actually does find that recognition later. But again, it took a lot of hard work. So it's kind of cool to see these things from this era because of that. Like I say, it was a time period where they really allowed a lot of experimentation. You had a lot of really cool projects that came out of it. And this was
Well, I
one of
mean,
those.
you get a lot of love for the craftsmen these days. And I mean, I kind of showed one earlier today. They finally announced and showed the One Piece for the first time. And the animation is gorgeous. And this is something that an anime studio has never done, which is actually just take their damn time.
Yeah.
Well, that one's never getting to the end.
Right. We're still
Well,
waiting.
I think they were just going to do the early stuff anyway on that one.
But anything else about the animation? Like I said, to me, it looked smooth. I mean,
Yeah.
they only had to animate about 2 hours worth of material, and they were doing them in 5 to 10 minute episodes. I mean, it was around 10-minute episodes, I think. So,
I mean, the background, I mean, usually we don't talk about the background work. We talk about the animation, but the background work is where this show shines.
Yeah.
and I do think this is one that needs to come up again, maybe on Inside Movies Galore. I'll see if I can get the rest of the group to discuss it around another Halloween. Not this year, but maybe next year. Matter of fact, it's interesting because this year we are covering for mine the Grinch Halloween, and there was another one that I added to that. It's a short, but it was. But again, I think it's kind of interesting to look at this, and music-wise, since we'll move into that.
The music is excellent.
Yeah.
And this is
Lots of
actually
jazz, a little bit of operatic.
This is another similarity with the Garfield Halloween special, as mentioned a few minutes ago. Was the Garfield specials really went all in on creating some solid music? They were really short.
Well, I mean, you were with both the Garfield and the Peanuts stuff.
Yeah.
In the day, I mean, you were limited with animation, so you had to spend your budget in music.
Yeah. Now this one, the listed composer is the Blasting Company, which is kind of an interesting way to put it. But
Never heard of them personally.
Yeah, I can't say that I have either. And I don't know if IMDb lists the songs. I'm not seeing a listing for them.
Yeah, Elijah Wood had even said if this show was a record, it would be played on a phonograph.
That would make sense, yes. Yeah.
Let's see. Trying to look through Wikipedia here.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't really say anything on Wikipedia either. About the
There's
music.
a lot of really interesting. I mean, the music itself was really well done. It has an older school. I mean, I agree with that kind of it would be played on a phonograph feel to it.
Yeah.
It has an old feel to it. Even the whimsical song "Over the Garden Wall" itself, very, very whimsical, very old school feeling to it.
Okay, here's something to state. So Elijah Wood himself said if the show were a record,
Yeah.
it would be played on a phonograph.
Yep.
Mhm.
So it was Into the Unknown as the title song. That was the, but still, it is a very old school soundtrack, but it is very fitting, and it has that whimsical nature of these kids lost in the woods
Mhm.
on an adventure, but an adventure that has a slightly darker undertone to it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one definitely I would love to revisit later on during spooky season again, and may have to revisit for another discussion with the larger group eventually. But
Yeah.
that'll be a year or two in the future, probably. All things considered.
Yeah, understand.
But still, to me, I feel like it was a fun one, and I'm glad that I revisited it. So I have no problem using my birthday pick to push this forward. Any other comments on the music or production or writing before we move on to the final words?
I mean, it's a rarity to see a mini series in animation form.
Mhm. It is.
Now, out of all places,
I mean,
Cartoon Network loved doing these because they could play them during like commercial breaks or in betweens.
Well, I
they
mean, they had a
also-
lot of shows that were only 10 minutes, 15 minutes long, so they needed a filler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say they had quite a few shows in those later blocks that were short format. Yeah.
And this was played in the October-November era. I mean, let's see, the last episode debuted November 7th, and they would give them, it was a week long. It was started around Halloween, like right after Halloween, and then was 2 episodes a day for the full week.
Hmm.
So it kind of just followed right after Halloween. So
Yeah.
debuted around the right time to be debuted.
Right.
Well, let's just go ahead and talk favorites. So favorite character, and instead of favorite scene, let's just say favorite episode. Makes it easier. And you know what? Why not do since we're talking a little bit of spooky time. Adam, what is your favorite animated show or special that you still like to occasionally revisit during spooky time? Meaning October-ish, fallish.
Yeah.
We'll start with you, Brittany.
All right. Favorite character is going to be the frog. I can't say his name because he's got so many names.
Yeah, his last name that they gave him was the
Jason Thunderberger.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely the frog was amusing to me. I have to say, I mean, part of me loves episode 8, even though it's one of the least popular ones on IMDb. Just because it gives that old school animation about it. And creepy Halloween show.
And it could be just a fall themed one that you just really like that gives you that kind of feeling for that time of year.
Well, I mean, I always watch Nightmare Before Christmas on Halloween. That's something I always do, but I have to give it to the Garfield one. I mean, I watched it when it originally appeared, and I just love going back to it every now and then when I can find it.
All right. And Jake, favorite character, favorite episode, and favorite kind of special or series you like to watch around spooky season?
Um, I'll admit I did enjoy the frog. I thought he was fun. But I think I probably have to give it to Beatrice for favorite character. Um, as far as favorite episode, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Hard Times at the Huskin Bee, maybe The Ringing of the Bell. I feel like it's probably kind of between those two. And if we're just talking like animated specials for the fall Halloween season, the two I grew up on were the Ichabod Sleepy Hollow special from Disney and the Garfield special, and to me, those are both classics, and I don't
Those
really
are very
make
unnerving ones for kids.
I don't make a practice of watching any one particular thing every year, but the Garfield special probably comes closest. Nightmare Before Christmas is tricky because it's just as much a Christmas movie. So, but if we're talking full-on movies, that certainly does get a solid vote. And I
That
know
one's
Brandon.
appropriate. Yeah, that one's appropriate from
Brandon
October
has
1st
had
to
us-
like Christmas.
I know Brandon has had us cover Kakarembo, and that's a pretty good one too. But I don't have quite as much connection to it, but it's a fun one for the Halloween season.
It's the closest one to making me feel creeped out anime wise.
Yeah.
I have.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to get you creeped out and anime
Well,
wise.
see, anime to me, anime horror is good at being disturbing, but as far as being scary, anime almost always flunks out for me. The Kakarunbo is the closest
Well, I mean,
anime has ever been.
you two watch a lot of B-rated horror, so
Yeah.
Well, you
Well,
too.
B-horror
you
is
make
not
it
scary at
sound-
all. And would
You make
well,
it
you're
sound
with
like
him
I was-
watching it.
Not often, but sometimes.
but even then,
Yeah,
disturbing.
I feel like him and Kim probably watch 5 for every one I watch, but
Hey, it's more than I watch.
Like if Kim wants to watch something, usually I might put out a comedy or something like. No, I want to do something scary. That's almost always the case. So
yeah,
if I'm watching a movie with Kim, it's almost always scary. Like we had all those films to choose from when we were to go watch a film because there's a lot of good films out there right now. I wanted to watch Masters first. I'm not. But Kim really wanted to watch Backrooms.
Yeah.
Now
I've heard
that's
good
one.
things.
It's an A24 film. I think that's all I need to really say. That comes with a good thing and a bad thing to it. Yeah. But yeah, I always think of animation as something that can be scary, but Japanese animation has never been scary to me, except for
Watership Down.
I said
Well,
Japanese.
that's-
I've never seen Watership Down, so I can't really say.
I need to see it one day.
I've heard Unicorn Wars also hits that disturbing period, and I've got that one. There's a lot of like American animation and other foreign animation that really hits. But again, disturbing. I've seen lots of anime and animation that can be disturbing, but scary is a different thing. Like for instance, I mean, Human Centipede is not a scary movie. Probably I haven't watched it, but I can only do one.
I don't. Human Centipede is just a disgusting movie,
Okay,
not a
Sallow.
horror movie.
Disturbing in a
Sallow
different
is not-
sense.
Sallow is not a scary movie. Sallow is a disturbing movie, and that's basically the way that most anime is. Is it's very disturbing, but there's not enough that gets me going. Ugh. Scary is something like Last Shift, where I'm sitting there after the movie is done and it is dark, and I am looking around going, I'm a little nervous walking out. to the bathroom in the dark. That's scary, but that feeling is very rare. And so far, I've only had live action hit me like that in the last 20 years.
I will have to find a horror anime that is scary for you.
Yeah, like I said, I've watched quite a few. I mean, Junji Ito's come close in a couple of those shorts.
Yeah, but they never do Junji Ito right.
I mean, the short
They
that
never
was the
do.
closest was, for me, was the one where they were in the train tunnel, and they were
They
like,
started all right with the new Spiral, but they just or Uzumaki, but it just sucked after
then-
the second
then
episode.
he adds in those weird horror
So-
family ones, which are almost more amusing than they are. They're amusing / disturbing and not really scary.
Yeah.
Well, also everyone's got their own. Like for me personally, it's very rare that I can be scared by something that I'm watching. I don't scare easily. I can be disturbed or unnerved, and that happens occasionally. But actually scared is something that very rarely, live action or animation, I rarely see it.
Yeah.
But you know,
Well, I mean, I don't get scared easily with movies,
Yeah.
but it's more a matter of I just get bored with horror movies.
yeah, sometimes
I mean,
a lot.
If I was like video games, there's a lot of big things for horror video games. Now, yes, jump scares, but they only get you the first couple of times, and you know where
Jump
they're at.
scares are
It's like there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the last time I was truly, well, no, some of them do hold high tension, but as far as atmosphere got me creeped out, the original Silent Hill
Hmm.
had me creeped out the entire time. It had me on edge.
Hmm.
And you look at the original Silent Hill and you go, there's no way that could possibly keep you on edge.
Hmm.
But I'm telling you that when it came out, it did a great job at it.
Well, there are people that completely like one of the few times I was genuinely unnerved in a sense that you might call scared. A lot of it was just circumstance, maybe as much as the movie. A lot of people like to scoff at Paranormal Activity, but the first time I saw it was the perfect timing to make that movie scary.
Well, I mean, the first one worked because of that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's the way that one works well enough is it draws your attention in.
yes.
So when it does finally hit you with the scary stuff, you are the jump scare works most times if it
Right.
properly draws you in.
The fact that I was in a nearly empty theater and then I went home to a dark and empty house and it was dark and it was a good setup.
See, for me, I think Kim had the most perfect one. I had the least perfect because I was in a crowded theater with a bunch of little kids. But I think Kim had the perfect one is that she was watching it on her computer at night at 4 a.m. with headphones. And I will tell you right now that would make you paranoid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I said, when I watched Last Shift for the first time, I was watching it with Kim, and it was at night. I think we're at the townhouse at the time, and it was pitch black outside. It was quiet
Mm-hmm.
by the time we got through with it, and you just hear maybe small noises like carpy jumping around or something.
Hmm.
And it was really, really creepy after that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've not had an anime leave me feel. There are good ones for disturbing though. I mean,
Oh,
anime
yeah.
can definitely do that. So I will say that.
Yeah.
And this one, I think, if I was a small kid, episodes like, as far as me, my favorite episode was Hard Times at the Huskin Bee. And because I did think that one had some proper creep factor to it.
Uh-huh.
If I was a little kid, that would probably have creeped me out even more.
You keep saying little kid and small kid. I'm curious what you're feeling the intended audience for this was.
I'd say between 8 and 16.
See, I don't consider that a little kid.
I also don't
I'm
consider
thinking
that a
4
little
to-
kid.
I'm thinking 4 to 7. You know,
I'm with you there, Jacob.
yeah, that's definitely. This is an older kid to teen movie series, I think, and I'm sure a little kid probably could watch it and maybe get something out of it. But
See, I work with a lot of kids that are in the 8 to 10 range,
uh-huh.
and to me, they're little kids. It's just-
Yeah,
I see them a lot, day in and day out. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, but you also see them not at a good time for them.
yeah.
The maturity level is definitely down there. An 8-year-old is not a teen, in my opinion.
Well, no, but yeah, you just had them in the same group there.
Yeah,
but
I look
yeah,
at those little kids when they're preteen. That's
And-
me as a little kid.
And I will grant you, I also deal with children of various ages on a regular basis. And yes, 8 to 10, yeah, that could be considered a little kid. But I would definitely see that being the lower end of the range. I would see appreciating this series. But yeah,
I think a kid that's in the even 6 to 8 range,
yeah,
because they're around the age of Greg as a character.
yeah, they might enjoy Greg. Yeah,
I think that's that would be the idea of they would look at it from Greg's point of view, and I think they would find it a lot creepier and spookier than, say, somebody in the work age of like 14 to 16.
could
You
be.
know.
I mean, I can't say anything. I work for adults.
But yeah, I see people as young as 3 and as old as in their 90s. So I see people all over the place, age-wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think this one had a lot of good creep factor to it. I think it's a lot creepier to you the younger you are, or maybe more sheltered. Let's say you're an adult that's never watched a horror movie before,
Yeah.
and there are adults
I
that
guess
have.
there's somebody out there that.
Yeah.
So maybe that, yeah. As far as my favorite character, B, of course,
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's something about it, and I remember somebody saying she's the bluebird of happiness. I'm like, bluebird, yes. I don't know about the other, but I did find her entertaining. Her bleak outlook and just her general sarcasm.
Mm-hmm.
I just enjoyed her as a character overall.
Mm-hmm.
As far as favorite, like spooky time, I would say for me a special would be something like Garfield Halloween's not a bad one. I like watching around that time of year.
I mean, the Great Pumpkin's always a good one too.
Great Pumpkin
Oh, yeah.
is a good one, which
I
by the
got
way,
it.
that's the one we're pairing with the Grinch for my October. Is Great Pumpkin. It's just it's too short to do on its own.
Yeah.
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 So yeah. There's and sometimes I'll do anime, but a lot of the creepy anime I like Gregory Horror Show, and I know nobody else does.
Hey, we already reviewed it.
Yep.
It's all right.
People can
Oh,
go
I know
and see
nobody
the
else
film.
does.
It's all right.
But there is something about it that does have a nice creepy atmosphere to it. Especially as it goes further along and you get to see some of the weird stuff. Or even the one with the train. The train is also there.
Right.
Or sometimes the what was it? The one that was the night train, Galactic Railroad or something like that. The Night of the Galactic
Galactic
Railroad.
Railroad 99
No, it's a different. I'm thinking of a different one. It's about the
or Galaxy Railroad.
it's about the cats. The
Cat
cats.
Soup.
No, the cats that were riding the train, and it was Train to the Afterlife that you find out.
I
And
don't remember off the
it's a
top
good
of my
one.
head.
It's a good one. I just can't remember the name of it right at the moment.
Well, of course,
That-
if I remember correctly, I think we tried to kick off this series, and I think it got pushed to like the third episode. But we tried to kick off with Higurashi.
Yeah,
That's
so
a good, dark and creepy
one
one.
of the early ones because there were so many episodes. It was like weird that we started.
Yeah, and then we also I keep telling you, and I don't know if you've taken me up on this yet. I keep telling you and Kim need to watch Hellgirl. Have y'all done that yet?
No, it's getting a lot of it's because the other 2 seasons are only Japanese with subtitles, which
But
takes a lot
they're
more
not
concentration
important.
time.
They're not as good as the first season. The first season is solid. What's up?
Which is sad because those other 2 seasons are really expensive because they're out of print.
Maybe we
Yeah.
could make that for our October
Yeah,
episode.
Maybe.
maybe.
We do try to do something horror adjacent. So on the 29th of July, we'll be celebrating Brittany's birthday month. So what have you got for us for that week?
Well, just a slight change. Partly because it was requested before in one of the streams, and also because it covers 2 subjects that we really haven't hit in anime, and that is the historic genre and the seinen genre. As we hit Vinland Saga Season 1.
Oh, very good. That gives me an opportunity to watch my stuff on that. What's odd is that when I was thinking of that, I was thinking about that series like the going into another world that's not a isekai series, like Fushigi Yugi, stuff like that.
No, this is based somewhat on actual events.
Like, we need to cover Fushigi Yugi one of these days. That's also an old one.
That's an old one. I don't even know if anybody. Crunchyroll might have it,
They did
but
a
it's
re-release
very
on
rare.
it. They
Fine.
did a re-release on Blu-ray, but now that's all out of print.
Which one's this?
Fushigi Yugi.
Fushigi Yugi.
That
Like,
was
I
was
think you have it as well, I believe.
yeah. Was that Discotech? Who re-released it?
No, that was Pioneer.
No, the re-release.
re-release.
Oh, the re-release?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Actually, wasn't that might have actually been? Geez, I can't remember.
Oh no, it was ADV when it originally released.
No,
The re-release,
yeah.
I think, was Discotech. Because
actually, no, it's Anime Works. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, it's Anime Works.
Let's see. What is it streaming on these days?
It might be on Hulu.
It is
Might
on
be on Hulu.
Crunchyroll, believe it or not.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
The first 2 seasons.
I mean, I have it. I think all of us have it.
Yeah.
Something to think about. Food for thought for the future.
Right.
But I was thinking to myself, that's one that's we've got some. I thought about doing Azumanga Daioh this month actually.
Okay.
But I decided against. That's also a classic in my opinion. That's early slice of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would love to watch that again because I just upgraded that one to Blu-ray not long ago.
But this time we're hitting a fairly new series.
Yep.
So, and just be prepared. All seinen are very bloody.
So we're doing
And
Vinland Saga.
August season 1.
yeah.
And where did you? I'm sorry, I was kind of my mind was
Vinland
all
Saga is on Netflix,
Netflix.
on Crunchyroll,
Okay.
and on Hulu.
Okay. So
So
I cannot watch Netflix for 2 more days, but hopefully I'll be able to after that. So that'll be good.
there are 2 dubs of the series
Okay.
Well,
and 1 sub.
well, I will be watching my copy that I got from Sentai, and
Which, like you and me, it's going to be the Sentai dub on that one.
yeah, the as far as the second season, that one's not released. That one was released only on Crunchyroll.
No, the second season is released. I do
Yeah, it's
own the
released on
second season
physical,
as
but
well.
Crunchyroll released the physical.
So
Yeah.
that might
That's
be,
because they lost the rights. Sentai lost the rights.
oh, they did. So it would
Yeah.
not be on High Dive.
It went on to Crunchyroll
Well, season one
and
was on
Netflix.
High Dive.
Netflix had the rights, and Crunchyroll has the rights for the continuing series.
Yeah, season one would be on High Dive, but not
Okay.
season two. That's a weird thing. I mean, like Teasen Master Takagi-san, the rights of that are split into 3 different things. I mean, you've got Crunchyroll for season 1,
Mhm.
you've got Netflix for season 2, and then for
Mhm.
season 3 in the movie, it's Sentai.
Yeah.
And I've got all the physical releases, but season 2 is not going to get a physical release because Netflix.
Yeah. That's the way Netflix does. I mean, I swear.
Though not all the time. They have been showing more interest in physical for the niche sets. Like, for instance, Stranger Things is getting an Arrow release.
I mean,
at the end
I
of-
will say this about the Vinland Saga series. They're almost different shows. They're still violent and bloody, but the element of the story is basically taken in one season.
Oh my. Well, we will, I guess, go for that. And of course, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up. Of course, if you like, subscribe, share, do all those lovely things that you would, and let us know. Let us know in the comments below if you are listening to this later on. Is there a spooky animation that you like to watch during that season?
Raggedy Ann and Andy.
I mean, I was thinking of a lot of the Raggedy Ann and Andy one has got some creepy ones. Coraline, I really liked Coraline from Light.
Coraline, yeah,
really good. So a lot of that. Actually, this has a lot of feeling like Coraline. A lot of that feel to it, as far as the creepiness factor. But I think being stop motion really added to the creepiness factor with Coraline. But yes. So, Brittany, I guess you'd be the one who is doing other things than us. What are you up to these days on your channel?
Well, on a break from my channel, simply due to technical stuff and the fact that I am hard at work on comic stuff, even though Webtoons has censored Witch in Chapter 8, which dropped this weekend. So...
Well, you all need to go in and check out those things. So you just need Beatrice to help you out. She'd just be talking smack while you're doing your work. Oh, and for those who want to, I know on the picture behind us, the girl in the blue dress is Beatrice as human,
as well as the Bluebird.
Yes.
Yep.
Which Jake has as his picture there.
Yeah.
So we will see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Not all.